Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more NBA news. And of course, Bam Adebayo's 83-point game has everybody in a frenzy. And it has a lot of discussion about Wilt Chamberlain's record of 100 points and who could break that record. Not in the past, but in this current era. Because we knew back in the day if Jordan or Kobe really wanted to get that record, they probably could. Jordan had a high, I believe, of 63 points or 62 points in the regular season, I want to say, or maybe it was 55 through the double nickel. But we know Kobe had the 81-point game, which was just broken by Bam Adebayo. So it's more about these recent players because we've seen phenomenal scoring games over the last couple of decades. Devin Booker had the 70. Of course, we talked about Kobe's 81. Donovan Mitchell had 71. Luca had 73. Now, the Bam game is probably the most off-putting or the most unexpected game because he's never averaged probably more than 20 points in a season. So it really was, if somebody had to bet who would score 83 points to the season, like before going into the season, somebody said, all right, there's going to be a player to score 83 points. You're going to think about Anthony Edwards, maybe John Morant. You're gonna think Luca, maybe Nikola Jokic, maybe. Definitely, you might think of a player like Donovan Mitchell might go back and get it, or maybe a James Harden will muster up a game like that. But you wouldn't think Bam would do it. So people have been thinking or discussing about who has the best shot of breaking Wilt Chamberlain's record of 100 points in over 100 points in one game. Now, a lot of the usual suspects that I was thinking about at first are past their prime and towards the end of their career, so they probably wouldn't have the energy to do it. Somebody like a LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Kawhi, and some of those guys are not old, but they just injury plagued like a Kawhi and Embiid, and I don't think they would have the conditioning to do it. They just wouldn't have the energy, and if they do score 100 points, we probably wouldn't see them for a couple of weeks. So it has to be like a younger guy, a guy that's in his prime, a guy who is well conditioned, a guy who can make a lot of free throws because it's going to take a lot of free throws because the clock is stopped and you're going to need that to get 100 points. And you're going to need to play a team that's very competitive with you, and your team can't be so phenomenal, i.e., a SGA, um, where you're winning by so much because they'll take you out of the game and it wouldn't look right. So it's going to take one of those somebody on the team that's middle of the pack, not too, has too much talent on it. So I started thinking about in this current era of the NBA, most people are saying Victor Wembanyama, who, 7'5", probably has the best chance. And I don't think he will be sturdy enough to score 100 points in a game because he is injury plagued a lot because he's so tall and he's very thin. And there's a lot of physical players, and he won't be able to endure that type of game because it's going to be a lot of physicality, especially when he gets to 60 points. They're going to be physical with him, and I don't think he'll be able to last an entire game that way. So I don't think Victor Wembanyama would be the best chance to score 100 points. Same thing as Shea. I don't think Shea will pull up enough shots. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes. He does go to the free throw line a lot. That's the one advantage he would have. But as far as overall talent, I think he has the conditioning to do it, but I don't think that's in his nature. Because if you're scoring 100 points, you have to go actually out there and get it, and you have to have that Mamba mentality. And I don't think Shea really has that type of Mamba mentality that a Iverson would have, or Kobe himself would have, or even Jordan would have. So it's not a lot of players that would have that. And I think Luca, as I said before about most of those other players, wouldn't have the conditioning to do it. He did put up 73, but he was pretty tired after that game. And, I don't think he would put up the enough. He can get the attempts, but I don't think he would be in too much of a shape to actually maintain that. And it would take a lot. And he goes to the free throw line a lot from his complaining and stuff like that. So I think he would foul out from the technical fouls in that game, just from arguing with the referees. So I don't think he would make it. Same thing with Jokic. He's another bigger guy that doesn't rely on athleticism and plays a lot slower. So I don't think with the speed of the game you would need to get 100, he could do it. And he's so such a versatile player. He's always trying to get players looks, and he's always trying to rebound and do things for the team. So it's not in his nature to go get 100. Now, if it happened to fall, in front of him, he would probably do it, but I don't think unless his team really needed 100, he would do it, but I don't think he would. So I don't think he has the best chance. So the best chance I think from any player in the current era today, before this draft, of course, would be Anthony Edwards. Ant Man has the mentality. He has the Mamba mentality. He's the closest thing to Jordan and Kobe that we've seen in this era, and he's the best player to put up 100 because he scores in a myriad of ways. He can shoot the three just as effective as he can shoot the two. He can make the free throws. He's an 80 plus percent free throw shooter. He has the athleticism. He can dunk. He can do all these different things. So he can get and ones. He can, he can score in so many different ways. He can back you down and turn around and shoot the jumper. He can do mid range. He can dunk on you. He has so many different ways, and he has the personality to go get it because he can say, "I want to go get 100 tonight," and I believe he can really do it. Now, I finally, well, for the first time, I watched the Maui Invitational when Georgia played Michigan State, and that just showed me his ability before he even got to the league. And I think that game had a lot to do with him being drafted number one overall because he didn't have a great team at Georgia, but he was a phenomenal talent and a generational one. Um, so I think Ant Man has the best chance to do it, just because of he can score anywhere. He's fearless. He has the mentality to go get 100 points because he has no problem going to go do that. He can rebound and pass as well, but his thing is scoring and scoring at a high clip. He can give you 35 on any night, and that's just his mentality. When he plays all these great players, he tells them, "Hey, I'm gonna outscore you tonight. We taking you down." You know what he told Kevin Durant. He's just fearless. You like a player like him because he's not PC. He gives it like how it is, and he really is the face of the league where he wants to be or not because he's that player that those, he's the man of his generation. Um, in his 25 and under club, he's the best out of everybody. So Anthony Edwards, I believe, has the best chance to break Wilt's 100-point game scoring record. So tell me what your thoughts about who has the best chance. And until next time, I'll see you next time.